Mike Amos. His name is Bill Rice Jr. As we start a Monday, as we head into to May and be soon into June, and soon we'll be into July. So it's a great day if you're a Trojan, and of course, regardless, you're looking straight at graduation, and it's coming up very soon in all the schools. And that'll be something to get excited, I would think.
I can remember the date I graduated from high school.
Yeah. Well, I pretty much can. I'll tell you what, I know this, that it's graduation at Troy University this Friday morning.
Really?
Yes, sir. This Friday morning now, that's a week from, over less than a week from
So they're having
today.
finals right now.
Yeah, oh yeah. Finals started last Friday or Thursday, and they're heading.
So when Troy plays Auburn Tuesday night, tomorrow night, there'll be a lot of kids still worried about finals.
Maybe some of them, will still be worrying about finals, and of course to play in the Auburn Tigers here in Troy, and they've got to do something because they were swept this weekend. Troy University baseball got hit in the jaw this weekend, and against rival Georgia Southern, and we'll talk about it later. And of course, the big thing to talk about today is that Pike Liberal Arts is going to play for a championship on Wednesday morning.
I know, at Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it is a heavyweight fight between Pike and Glenwood. Glenwood's ranked, believe it or not, Glenwood is #1 in the state. As much as we talked about Pike Liberal Arts, they're #2.
Yeah, what we'll do, Rice, on that day, we'll run a copy of the show that we did with Coach
Hickson. Good idea.
And we'll get us a sausage and biscuit and whatever, or you want a full breakfast, we'll do that and head toward Montgomery for the big game.
That makes sense. I was thinking we would just do a show and then leave immediately after the show, but if we need to go ahead and probably run that Coach Hickson interview, because he goes through the whole roster and season, and that'll get everybody ready for the game.
It does, and we're excited about it. Of course, Russ, I know you're excited about the big game. This would be his 3rd championship, or what?
4th in a row. Oh, Hickson.
Yeah.
Well, that's Hickson. It'll be Pike Liberal Arts' 3rd in a row. They're going for a 3-peat. It's a caveat. You're right. This will be the 4th.
Yeah, in a row. But how many for Billy?
They could have been 5 in a row because the COVID season was canceled.
Yeah.
I think Billy's 2nd. Billy was first year. I mean, not Billy. Rush's first year was last year.
We're bringing them right to you live.
Oh yeah, that's something. That's great.
Good deal. Here's how
live on Troy
it gets
Cable.
confusing. They've won so many, but here's how I think it plays out. Pike Liberal Arts won the state championship in baseball in 2018. The year before, I think they made it to the finals and finished 2nd. But 2018 won. 2019 won. 2020 COVID. They probably would have won. The season was canceled in March, when they were going great. 2021 last year won. That's 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So they'll be going for 4-peat, which could have been a 5-peat. So any way you look at it,
it's
very
dominant.
impressive.
Total dominance
dynasty.
in 7A baseball. In we call it 3A, but I mean it's 3A, and the private schools, and that is some good baseball too. That's nothing to laugh about. It's good baseball.
And I would say it's competition. There's some really good private school baseball programs in Alabama.
Oh, really is.
And we're getting ready to see one of them in Glenwood. These are kids that play at these programs that go on and play in the pros and the Division I colleges. I'm sure Glenwood will have 5 players that will play college baseball one day.
All right, something else that I missed this weekend, and we'll talk about it later on, is the big race, the horse race. Did you watch it?
No, I heard about it.
What?
Kentucky Derby.
The Kentucky Derby and that doesn't happen much, does it? Was Balfour anywhere around?
Second, I think, wasn't he?
Was he there?
Yeah.
So Balfour was able to race his horse.
I think so. I think he was.
All right, good.
Check on that.
All right, good. You know,
Liberal Arts was 34-1 on the season.
34-1 Pike Liberal Arts on the season so far.
34-1.
That's
right,
it.
that's it,
30
34-1.
wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie.
And boy, that's a
Now,
really
one of those
great year.
losses was to Glenwood. Pike split with Glenwood, so Pike
Well,
has beaten them 1 time. They have beaten us 1 time. And
Well,
according
now-
to
Now we saw Pike lose to Pensacola team. We saw them
Yeah, they
lose
lost
that
to
game.
them.
So that's 2 losses.
but according to Billy Hickson and Rush Hickson, neither team has thrown their ace at the other team, which
That's
is
right.
an oddity. So these
Yeah.
players are going up against each other, and they haven't seen the other team's best pitchers.
You know, that's what we were talking to Billy Hickson, or it might have been Russ that we were talking to, and we were talking to about the coach for the Phoenix City team, and you know what a great job he's done, and then the Phoenix City coach turned around and said, "Well, let me just tell you this. My boys haven't seen anything yet."
They were celebrating. He says, I know something they don't know. Is that guy that was playing right field in this game was the ace pitcher that
Yeah.
they didn't have to go against.
He said they don't know what it's going to be like right now, and that's going to be a great game from Patterson Field in Montgomery.
Historic Patterson Field.
What is it? 10:30 to start? Is it
10 o'clock.
start? 10 o'clock start.
You're right. So we need to get
Oh,
some coffee and some
We'll,
sausage biscuits from Birds. And,
That's right.
Get on up there and then watch the first game. We know we're going to have 2. It could easily, one team could win both of them, or they could split.
Yeah, we'll watch both games, or you find your way home. We'll watch at least 2. And now surely they wouldn't try to play 3, would they?
No, the third game will be, if necessary,
Yeah.
will be the next day. I don't know what time on Thursday.
But it's going to be a great series between 2 outstanding teams from Glenwood Academy of Phoenix City and the
I think
Troy
I
team.
think Glenwood their record's even better than Pike's. The only team that Glenwood lost to from the state of Alabama was Pike. That they're like Pike, and so they played teams from several states in the year.
Okay, and of course it was a great weekend for Mother's Day. And what did you do for your Mother's Day? And it was a great day at my house. I know it was on yours too. Those little girls, that little girl and little boy, celebrated Mother's Day, I'm sure.
They got their mom some good Mother's Day presents, and I think Mother was happy. We took her to a Mexican restaurant. That's what she requested, and they went on Saturday. They went with grandmother to Sweet Creek, which is that restaurant gift shop, probably about 30 miles north of Troy.
Yeah, that's right. I've never been there. I don't think.
It's starting to be a big deal.
I might have stopped by and bought something to drink or eat there before.
Well,
but
they have little festivals and games and face painting for the kids. It's
that's
more.
right,
It's more
yeah.
than just a
Oh, yeah,
retail
well, that's
establishment.
good. So that's a regular park that kids can have a good time.
Yeah, it's interesting that they've slowly expanded and adding more and more things, and I see more and more people stopping. So it's almost like a little tourist thing in the middle of nowhere between Troy and Montgomery.
Well,
But let's see. We went to church Sunday. Steve was off, and Dusty did the sermon. Did a great job. And I forgot about the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. Steve Camp tells me that Long Shot won.
Oh yeah, and that doesn't happen much. They said it was 80-1.
Well, you could have bet $10 and won $800. Those are the bets I like.
And no telling. I doubt if many people had their money on that horse. So 80 to 1.
I bet there's some of these people though that just they they say, well, I'll lose $10.
Yeah, that's right.
But I might.
That's
But
right.
those long shot bets are, I like them. Like you can get them in the football on who's long shots to win the national championship or long shots to win the Heisman Trophy. Like when Mac Jones won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
You could have got huge odds on him before the.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't even hardly
yeah.
on anybody's list.
Exactly right. Of course, we're still over at Troy University. They're still mourning and groaning after losing.
Well, I take that
all
back.
3 games.
Mac Jones did not win the Heisman Trophy. That was Devontae.
Yeah.
Mac was second.
That's right. That's right.
Almost won it though. Guten Morgen.
Morning.
Mike Amos calling in from Grayton Beach, Florida. Mike, it was a beautiful day yesterday at Grayton Beach.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the weather was perfect for Mother's Day. Humidity was down. It felt really nice. I met you, and I've been on a diet for a long time, and I ate about 5 baskets of chips at Amigos in Inlet Beach, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
That was way too many chips and queso for after church yesterday, but it was good.
You better go back on the program because that's the way these slippery slopes start. It just starts with a couple of chips, and I've done it too.
But I'll just say this: the Eubanks kid out of Pike Liberal Arts, the shortstop. I will never tell that kid ever again to go to Troy. Go to Georgia Southern. That's a great baseball program.
Yeah, I know it. Boy, they just.
I mean, you talking about a pitching staff falling apart in the weekend series? 24 runs, 8 runs, and 10 runs. I tell you what, Auburn game Tuesday night. If they want any chance to have a chance at a regional, they got to pretty much win out now. So they got to pitch an ace against Auburn on Tuesday night.
Well,
really, why not? They're not going to win the
regular season Sunbelt.
Yeah, and then they're still going to get in the tournament, right? So what's the next series even matter?
Yeah.
It would be a much bigger deal to beat Auburn.
Yeah. And then Coastal Carolina coming up this weekend. Let's see this.
You come out something I didn't see coming. Boy, the baseball team have won 5 in a row. They're 29-14 and get swept at Georgia Southern. Yesterday they led 8-4 after 6 innings, and Georgia Southern still came back and won.
Yeah, and then they were leading on Saturday too, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
But now early on Saturday morning from Statesboro, my friend called me up. He said, "Mike, we got," he used this word, slaughtered. And that's what happened. What was the final score of that game, Mike?
24-1.
24-1 over rival Georgia Southern. So
I haven't heard many baseball games that were 24-1. Oh my gosh.
24-1. Turn out the lights. The party was over, but they came back and played much better in the second game, and they did
make a game of it.
Yeah,
the good news is that 2 of the games at least were competitive, right?
Yeah. And
but I think if you ask Troy fans going in, I mean, they felt like Troy had a chance to at least take 2 out of 3. Now the standings in the Sun Belt, you got Texas State 20-4, 38-11. They'll get an NCAA regional bid. Georgia Southern is now 18-6, 32-15 overall. Lafayette 17-7, 28-17 overall. Coastal Carolina 16-7. They, I guess, tied 1 game. I didn't know that was possible anymore. 29-15-1, and then now Troy is 5th in the conference at 13-11, 29-17. Tied with South Alabama, who's also 13-11, 27-19. So really, really tough weekend for Troy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the agony of defeat. The
And
thrill
then-
of victory, the agony of defeat.
Then one game, Troy, a kid hit a grand slam home run. His name was Shrimp. Do you know who that is?
Shrupp, yeah. I saw it as well. I mean, I know the guy.
Hit a grand slam home run, and
player.
yeah.
Yeah,
But,
we got beat 24-1, 8-4, and 10-9.
Wow.
I got to check out this box score in a 24-run game. You don't see those very much. They had 21 hits. Brady Fuller took the loss. Let's see. Troy probably had to bring in a position player to pitch. What do you think?
Yeah, tell us about what has happened to Troy's starter. They played without their top pitcher.
Oh, that explains a lot of it.
Yeah, Gaines is out with arm issues. Brady Fuller got the start on Friday. On Saturday. Keep in mind the game got rained out on Friday, so I don't know if that affected Troy or not. They played a doubleheader on Saturday instead. But Brady Fuller gave up 12 runs on 11 hits in 2 innings. This is a Troy starter, and then they brought in Hershiser, the reliever, in 3 innings. He gave up 9 runs on 8 hits. Noah Janney came in. He was the most effective pitcher of the day. Went 2.2 innings, gave up 0 runs on 2 hits.
And his name was what?
Noah Janney.
I'm not familiar with him.
Then they brought in another guy named Cameron Gray, who just pitched to one batter and got out of that as well. But yeah, pretty amazing stat line on that first game.
Let me ask you this: this kid that has a major league last name, is he related to the major league pitcher?
He's a Hershiser's nephew, is what it says.
He's Oral Hershiser's nephew, and he plays for Troy.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Where did they get him? Out of a junior college or what?
No, I think he's a high school kid out of Florida.
Yeah. He's not playing that. Has Oral been to any games?
I have no clue. You get away more games than me, man.
Oral Hershiser was a great pitcher. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer?
Oral Hershiser's nephew.
With the Dodgers, he's borderline for sure.
Yeah. Well, now
he fall into the category of like a Tim Hudson kind of.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Right around 200 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is he already in the Hall of Fame or Hershiser?
No.
For a couple years, though, he was one of the aces in the big leagues. They called him Bulldog. I remember. And he's kind of he looks like an accountant, but he was a really good pitcher.
Of course, the big game this week is
He's
Pike.
from Windermere, Florida.
Okay. Want to mention that this week, starting on Wednesday morning, Pike Liberal Arts plays a doubleheader with Glenwood Academy out of Phoenix City for a state championship. And
I bet Glenwood will bring a lot of people.
It'll be 4 in a row if they do.
That'll be a lot of folks at Patterson Field. But you know, Billy makes a good point. There'd be a lot more if the game was at 5 or 6 o'clock. So
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's gonna have to take off from work. In school, I guess they'll let them out of school, the students.
Yeah. Well,
Be a lot of parents that can take off from work, and retirees and the students that they let out.
I imagine they'll let the whole student body out. If I know the Pike Liberal Arts people, and
Well, last year we went to the finals, and it was early in the day too. At 1:10 though, I think, because we went to lunch before we went to the game.
yeah, that's right. right.
But the students for both schools were there.
I know it. I was hoping that we'd be able to eat at your favorite restaurant,
Dirk's.
but I don't believe we'll be able to. We're going if we want to watch both these games.
Nope.
Well, did y'all watch the big race? Did y'all have Rich Strike?
No,
8 to 1 odds. All you had to do was play $10. You win $800.
yeah.
$10 bet on
You're
Rich Strike. One of the biggest upsets they say in racing history happened at the Kentucky Derby this weekend.
And Rice said that he knows there would have been a lot of people betting $10 on the race.
Well, there's 20 horses. You
Yeah.
can technically bet $10 on everybody. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, the worst odds were 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Well, 20, that was a big field. That was a crowded field right there.
Yeah.
A lot of horses bumping into each other.
And my buddy Mike, who I've got a hair look-alike this morning, Bafford, his horse came in second.
Well, he's suspended.
See, I was wondering. I thought, what do they do about him?
That was his horse that went to his trainer that kind of became the owner, I guess.
Okay.
He finished second.
You mean somebody had bought Bafford's horse from him? Is that right?
Well, I mean, they kind of affiliated through Baffert. He's like now like kind of running the shots for Baffert. If they had two horses in the race.
Was it a good closer? Was it a?
Baffert is suspended.
He couldn't even go to the race, could he? Would he be allowed to go to the race?
I would think not.
No. He's suing them right now, trying to get back in it.
Yeah.
Well, what type of race was it? Did it come down to the wire?
Oh my God, it was a great race. This Red Stripe came out of like, I'd say down the stretch, he passed maybe 7 or 8 horses to win it.
I want to see the highlights.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He was way back.
Yeah, surely we'll be able to watch it.
Horse racing, they say it, they call it the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, and it is the most exciting 2 minutes in sports.
I don't know what I was doing. No telling what I was doing. I was at the beach, and but I must have been watching something else.
I've got out of the habit of watching TV like I used to.
Well, I tell you what, I'm getting so involved with what do they call it, Mike?
Binge watching.
Netflix. I've got right now tonight. I've got a big Netflix schedule for tonight.
What you watching?
Well, heck, I don't even know.
Dad, you probably never even watched the best show on there. You probably never even watched Ozark.
Yeah, I have.
Did you watch the end of it?
I watched Ozark. No.
I haven't watched season 4, so don't tell me anything. I hadn't started it yet.
Well, let me tell you.
I thought they finished it well. I mean, the writers, they built a really good show, and then I think they finished pretty strong.
This is the Vikings. I'm right now watching the Vikings, but I watched several shows. It's very good entertainment, and
This binge watching is fun.
Every night, my wife and I are scheduled to watch at least one, but there are a lot of episodes. But
you need to watch Breaking Bad. Y'all need to go back and watch Breaking Bad.
Was it good?
It's the best TV show ever.
What's the name?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
It's about a science teacher that was once a great scientist at a big pharma company, sells his shares, and then he has to go and become a science teacher at a high school. Well, he comes down with cancer, and he doesn't have good insurance, and he's worried about providing for his family. His brother-in-law is a DEA agent. And one day at a birthday party, his brother-in-law's talking about some bust he did, some meth bust, and he mentions how much money they confiscated. And a light goes off in the science teacher's head. He says, I could make meth better than these people. And so he starts making meth.
Oh, boy, we don't
I know you won't like it, but the reason he does it is he's trying to provide for his family after he's gone.
Yeah.
That's the basic plot.
Well, I tell you, it's several good ones, and this one with the Vikings. This is it's a lot of action, a lot of. If you don't want your children to watch it, I wouldn't.
Well, you watch.
There's a lot of bloodshed,
Yes, Breaking Bad's got some too. It's like
Sopranos had a little bit of bloodshed.
Ozarks, which is about a guy that gets tied up in laundering money for the Mexican drug cartel.
Yeah, Michael, I don't know if I've watched Sopranos, but I liked it when on TV. What do they do? Just take the episodes on TV and run them back to back, or what?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying Sopranos. I'm just saying that's one of my favorite shows of all time.
But it's
Michael, you haven't watched Breaking Bad.
They'll play a little bit of Sopranos on Netflix. You can probably catch the first season.
You watch Breaking Bad. I can't believe you haven't watched it.
Yeah, I would like a Breaking Bad show. I don't have time to do anything with these girls. All we do is have cartoons on.
Yeah, you're right. I would not let my girls watch that. That's terrible.
I mean, I don't have time to watch a show because the girls pick up the TVs upstairs, downstairs, on the porch. I mean,
But for adults,
I tried to watch a little bit of golf yesterday. I watched the end of the golf tournament.
I did too. That's what I was doing.
Max Homa came back and won yesterday, beat Keegan Bradley.
Do you know what? That's what I did. I watched golf instead of the Kentucky Derby. I hate that.
Who won?
Well, I mean, the Derby coverage was through the roof. I mean, it lasted from 1 o'clock to 6:30. That's unbelievable coverage.
They do show it a lot. You mean on the horse racing?
I switched over and watched about one play of the USFL game in the UAB Stadium?
Oh, I haven't even, I'm telling you, I hadn't even thought about that. I mean, I've
just
changed
like,
the channel.
I would say with the crowd shot I saw, I would estimate the attendance at that game, Birmingham wasn't playing, was maybe 182 people in the whole stadium.
And, it's not.
That's probably friends and family though.
Yeah.
I really think it's just the television.
Yeah, it's all television.
I mean, it doesn't matter about attendance. I mean, they're not trying to make money on attendance. It's all about just having something to air in that time slot.
Yeah, that's obviously it.
I mean, I'll say this: Birmingham is 4-0 though. Skip Holtz has done a pretty good job.
Yeah. Any local people playing for Birmingham?
They're the only team that's undefeated.
Are any local people playing that we know of?
I mean, Chubb was on Birmingham's roster. Jordan Chun was on the roster, but I hadn't seen him play. And then I think they got a couple Alabama guys on their roster, and no like really big time names.
Yeah.
Troy's got another guy that plays for New Orleans. Rousey, a former offensive lineman.
Okay.
And then one other player from Troy's on the roster. I can't think of who it is.
Of course, our show is brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks. And right now, again, as we say, almost every day we're on the podium up here, is they're dealing like nobody else deals with a brand new or used car or truck from Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep. We'll be right back.
Hey, Jim Jackson, Bill Jackson Ford here in Troy, Alabama. We're not only can you get the best price on your Ford,
I know it, but you gotta watch that now.
we all know inventories are low right now, but don't settle for something you don't love. Come by Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, and let us walk you through the retail order process and get you exactly what you're looking for. So come see us at Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
The all-new Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center brings all of the latest and advanced 3D mammography and breast ultrasound services to the Troy area in our all-new outpatient facility. Dr. Lauren Thorington, along with our team of certified breast specialists, read your mammograms, which are performed by our registered radiologic technologists, bringing the best in women's health care to the Troy area. Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio, just off the square in Troy.
Hey, Jim Jackson with Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC right here in Troy, Alabama, and we've got some exciting news for you. After a 2-year suspension, GM has now reintroduced the sold order process on the redesigned GMC Sierra 1500 and Chevrolet Silverado 1500. So come in and order yours today and not have to wait 6 months to get exactly what you want. So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
A lot of people don't know the background of this gentleman sitting to my left on what he has meant to not only the city
The
of
world.
Troy, but the whole listening world out there. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Tell them about you, Rice.
I'm just a Just a guy that
just
grew
a
up.
I'm just a lonely boy.
I'm just a guy
so lonely and blue.
That grew up in Troy, moved to Troy in the 7th grade, had a great experience living here, moved off, moved back, got married, got 2 kids. I write and research for a living, and then I'm blessed to be able to spend an hour and a half on this show talking about whatever we end up talking about.
Yeah. You know, I got a call yesterday.
Your first thing you should say is, my dad played for the Bear and won a national championship at Alabama.
That's my claim to fame, I guess.
Yeah. And, of course, he grew up with a man that was not only a great football player out of Troy, Alabama, but also a great citizen. I mean, your dad was very well known for his support of Troy and Pike County.
Well, it's funny that he became a real historian. He's written several history books on Troy. You know what that is he graduated from the School of Commerce at the University of Alabama. He had worked for the Gulf Oil Corporation for many years. Then he bought my grandfather's gasoline distributorship business, and so he owned Chapman Oil Company. But then he sold that, and he became a environmentalist. He ran the city of Troy's curbside recycling program. And while he was doing that, then he started following in the shoes of Margaret Pace Farmer and saying, I want to write some history. But you know, Dad's real great interest in history, his whole life was the war between the states. He was really, really interested in the civil wars, and he wasn't interested so much in the politics of it, in the sociology of what was going on. He was interested in the battles and the way the battles unfolded. He was in the National Guard for a long time, and so he was studying the way troops on the battlefield would be moved, and so he became an expert of all the different generals and for each side. But out of that interest in Civil War history, he got pretty good on war history, World War II, World War I, and then he somehow came back to local history and really did a lot of research and wrote some great books on the history of Troy.
Yeah. Of course, we've got several things, several topics to work on.
Troy girls took 2 or 3 in their last series at home in the Sun Belt against South Alabama. Troy will be the number 4 seed playing Wednesday against Texas Arlington down in Mobile. Troy's 29-19. Arlington's 22-25. That game will be at 1 p.m. in Mobile on Wednesday. The number 1 seed in the tournament is going to be Louisiana Lafayette. The number 2 seed is going to be South Alabama, and the number 3 seed is going to be Texas State. So Troy has got a chance.
Oh yeah, especially with the great pitcher from Brantley and Leanne Johnson. Quite a story there. And Mike, I noticed that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is she a sophomore, a redshirt sophomore, or was she a junior?
I don't know. Everybody's got that COVID year, so it's kind of hard to figure it out. I figured she was at least a junior.
What I'm saying is, we've got her for 2 more years. Look out. You know what I mean? She is quite a player.
There's really no pro softball league you can go into, so I would imagine these girls will take advantage of that COVID year, I would think.
Yeah,
exactly. And of course, we got a lot of softball. And
you're right. If you get a great pitcher in softball, you can expect to have a good team for 4 years. Because your team's going to go as well as your pitching.
Yeah, Johnson, of course, is from Brantley. She was the player of the year in the state of Alabama. Troy, I think, has got 4 players on their roster that were the player of the year.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Deanna Johnson is a junior for Brantley.
All right, so
we got her next year anyway.
Yeah, get her for another year.
You might have another year if she takes that COVID year.
Oh yeah, she's quite a player and quite an athlete. She also was a great hitter. Everybody tells me what a great hitter she was, but Troy doesn't use her much as a hitter at all. But
well, it's one of those things where maybe she'll get back to hitting later in her career. I mean, or do the opposite of Rigsby Mosley, the Troy pitcher, was a great hitter, and now he's a pitcher.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll start hitting later in her career.
Mike, why is Central of Phoenix City such an outstanding athletic program? You know who the Brother Wilkes from Goshen is the athletic. I mean, is the headmaster. The headmaster is the superintendent.
Wow.
And they just win at everything, and they're playing for the state championship in baseball this weekend.
Yeah, Randy Wilkes was actually my junior varsity coach when I was at Charles Henderson High School. Played at Troy and coached, and then he got involved in administration and became the superintendent, I guess, up there how many years ago?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know how many years, but he's done an outstanding job as a superintendent. But his teams just seem to play so well, and so
They've had great football teams. We know that.
Yeah.
And so we know they got great baseball teams now. Phoenix City has produced some outstanding athletes through the years.
Well, we've got a lot of good baseball teams playing in the state championships. I reckon all these games are in Gulf Shores, aren't they?
Phoenix City. I was just thinking that it goes back probably before them, but the Lowe brothers were both from Phoenix City, and then one of the Eddie Lowe, who was Woody Lowe, was the most famous linebacker at Alabama. He played for the San Diego Chargers for about 15 years. But Eddie Lowe played in the Canadian Football League, and he became the mayor of Phoenix City.
Mike, can you get us some baseball finals? Who are in the finals in baseball? I'm confused here a little bit. I've got Sweetwater against Millery playing.
I can try to pull some stuff up.
High school baseball and softball, but baseball right now.
That's the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that's quarterfinals, and we have been given by Steve Kemp the finals.
What day is Clay Liberal Arts playing?
Clay Liberal Arts plays on Wednesday morning.
Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday morning is an early game, and I reckon they play that doubleheader starting around 2:30.
So you would say
10:30.
A typical game, and this one will probably go 7 innings, will be 2.5 hours. So that would put you at 12:30. Then what about a 45-minute break between
Something
games?
like that. Yeah.
So to say second game maybe starting around 1:30.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right.
Here's who you got.
All right, here we go.
On Friday.
Let me give him a pen out. Let me give him a pen out first, and so I can write this
you
down.
don't really have to have because it's not.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Care about, but in 1A you got Bayshore Christians against Sweetwater. That game will be on Friday the 13th. Scary night, Friday the 13th.
Is this what? Is this the finals or the semifinals?
Finals.
Let's take semifinals.
What is it? Semifinals? Oh gosh, I really don't know where I am then.
Yeah.
All right, in 1A.
Or is it a quarterfinal? It's four teams left in 1A. What would that be called? Quarterfinals?
Okay.
Semifinals.
And will that tournament be played in Montgomery, or do we know?
No, these are at home site.
They are?
We got Bayshore Christian at Sweetwater on Friday the 13th. Donahoe out of Anderson at a place I've never heard of called Lindsay Lane. You ever heard of Lindsay Lane?
Yeah, I know it. We were talking about that,
like the name.
Friday. We were talking about that Friday. Bayshore against
Bayshore Christian at Sweetwater.
All right, I got you.
Which is very strange. Bayshore Christian's 25-5, and Sweetwater's 16-18.
Yeah,
They must have got a lot better as the season went on. But you got 4 teams left in 1A. This is who we care about right here. Class 2A, Arrington, 20-14 at GW Long, 30.
Oh boy, what a series there.
Very strange though. It says to be announced. I don't know why they don't have a time on that game yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Arrington playing.
Find out. Arrington's had a great year. Will be at GW Long, 30-6, but no time has been set.
Okay.
Who will they? The winner of that will play who for the
They'll
championship?
play at Mars Hill Bible, which I think is around Florence.
Yeah.
At Decatur Heritage, who's 28-8.
All right, so they play the winner.
they play the winner. But whoever they play, they'll play in.
Sounds like to me that GW Long has an excellent chance to get another state championship in baseball, which is probably about their 100th.
Okay, this is fun. This is important news now. GW Long, and what a rivalry.
Yeah, Arrington and GW Long, of course, they play each other nonstop. They're telling how many times they played each other this year.
Yeah, great program.
3A, you got Trinity Presbyterian 29-5 against Thomasville 21-11. Those games will start on Wednesday. After that in 3A, Piedmont, man, what a record! 33-4 at Phil Campbell 29-7.
Trinity's got a good baseball tradition themselves. That's where.
All right, now I'm confused a little bit here. Trinity Presbyterian is going.
You got 4 teams left in 3A. You got Trinity Presbyterian. They're playing at Thomasville, and then you got Piedmont playing at Phil Campbell.
Thomasville. Oh boy,
Playing at Phil. Newspaper. I mean,
yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right here.
But I mean, you really only need to write down the teams that are in our viewing area.
Yeah. Okay.
We care about them.
Okay. Well, we care about them all. I'm interested in it.
All right, Class 4A. You got Mobile Christian 29-4. Man, what a series this will be. And I know a lot of people from this area. I used to work with some guys from Tuscaloosa that had kids that played at Gordo. They'll be at Gordo 26-5. So you got 29-4 at Gordo, 26-5. Mobile Christian traveling all the way to Gordo. I mean, my God, that's what, 3.5 hours?
Yeah.
And then you got Etowah 26-12 at Hamilton. Hamilton's way up on the Mississippi line. Then locally, I guess Headland Dad.
Yeah, 24-3
at Holtville, 32-5. That game will be on Thursday, starting at 4:30.
All right.
And then also in 5A, you'll have Madison Academy 29-13 at Russellville 31-11.
I want to mention that what Pike Liberals getting ready to try to do, which is do a 6-peat in state championships in the major sports, back to back to back to back to back to back to back. The only team that approaches that in the public school league is Madison Academy, which won all 3 in the same year, 1 year.
Then interesting here, Pelham is 16-17-1 in 6A. We'll play at Tuscaloosa, Hillcrest Tuscaloosa, who's 23-12. So Pelham must have got hot at the right time. Next in 6A, Hazel Green, 25-14 at Hartselle. Hartselle is 35-4.
Yeah, they're always good in baseball.
Then Class 7A, you got Auburn High School, 28-6 at Central Phoenix City, 31-8.
Oh boy, what a game that'll be!
Well, look at you. So you've got. Well, I got to make my comments. Central Phoenix City is in the state semifinals. Glenwood from where? Phoenix City.
Phoenix City, yeah.
Is in the state finals. So some good baseball in Phoenix City.
And then our favorite baseball team ever, because they're always been so great. Batavia Hills, 24-15 at Hewitt Trustville, 28-4-1. That's your 7A.
Well, don't you know that's going to be a battle right there, in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
And here's your Alabama High School Independent School Finals at Patterson Field in Montgomery. The private schools will start on Tuesday. Abbeville versus Jackson Academy at 3 p.m. On Tuesday. That's when that will start. It's a doubleheader. And then earlier that morning, you'll have in 2A, Macon East Academy versus Patrician. That'll be a doubleheader as well. All these games will have a game 3 if need be on Wednesday.
Who's this on the other side of Macon? Who's playing Macon?
Patrician.
Patrician, okay.
Well, that answers why the Pike Liberal Arts is playing in the morning.
Okay.
We forgot that you also got these 1A and 2A series at the same time.
And now Pike Liberal Arts will have their own day to play, depending on what happens with these other games that they have to play on Wednesday. But Pike Liberal Arts will play Glenwood at 10 a.m. on Wednesday in the doubleheader. If it needs to go to a game 3, that game will be played on Thursday.
All right, wait a minute. So they wouldn't play. All right, how would they do the doubleheader here? 10 a.m.
They play a doubleheader on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And if Pike Lib wins 2 games, they win it. win the state championship. If they go 1-1, they play on Thursday.
Okay. What time would that second game be?
40 minutes after the first game. You don't know what time it would be.
So it'd be past midnight. I mean, past noon.
Yeah.
It's depending on these championship games too. If Class A or Class 2A
Yeah, that's right.
ends up going to have to play on Wednesday, I don't know how they'll do the next game. I would imagine they'll go back on Pike Lavard.
They'll go back to back Pike Arts, and then these other teams would play after the Glenwood Pike doubleheader.
Yeah. Mike, did it have any information on Glenwood?
No, this is just
what is their record?
I can pull it up.
Glenwood. And boy, that's going to be quite a game.
I know Glenwood's won over 30 games.
I have done some research on state championships in the AISA and the different sports, and I remember that Glenwood has won many state championships in baseball.
Yeah, they go all the way back with the future Hall of Famer
Tim Hudson, that's right.
Yeah, Tim Hudson. You know, he played with some of those great Glenwood teams. In fact, I was going to, as we look back at all these great teams, and congratulations to all these great teams in our area.
Glenwood's 30-3.
30-3.
So Glenwood has 3 losses. Pike LeBlanc has 4 losses. Pike LeBlanc also has a tie.
That's right. They did come to. So Pike is 30-4.
Right, well, it seems like the headline to me is Ayrton versus G.W. Long. I'm also interested in Trinity because I know the Gaylord boys both played at Trinity, and they got a really good baseball tradition.
I will say this, though. We need to mention, though, that Pike Liberal Arts did not pitch their top 2 pitchers against Glenwood.
That's correct. And nor did Glenwood pitch their top 2 pitchers against Pike Liberal Arts, though.
Yeah, that's what we were told.
So surprise. It's going to be a great game.
So, you know what? In other words, I've talked to some people about why don't you throw Nelson, he's obviously the best pitcher in Alabama, in the first game, but the more I've thought about it, it makes sense. You pitch him in the second game because it gives you a really good chance of winning that game against their number 2 pitcher. But you put 2 number 1 pitchers against each other, it's almost a coin flip. Who's going to win, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, because that pitcher can shut you down just like your pitcher can shut them down.
Yeah. I tell you, it's going to be interesting to see. But all year long, they've
that's the way they've done it, and they did it last year, and it's worked out. So
and let me tell you something. Pike's got 2 real good pitchers.
Yeah, the Pike's number 2 pitcher is one of the best pitchers in the state too. Jeff Coate
has got all the credentials and everything, and so does
Drew Nelson.
So Pike's.
The bottom line is, if you got 2 pitchers that are both excellent, you can go far in baseball. Yeah. We have seen this over and over with Troy University, with Auburn, Alabama, softball teams. That's why I keep thinking that one day Troy baseball and softball will make it to the College World Series, and then when that day happens, it'll be because they had 2 great pitchers.
That's right. You're going to have, and also they're probably going to have 3 or 4 real good deep relief pitchers.
Yeah, and a good closer. Let's throw that in there.
But I know this.
You also got to have a guy. Usually when you have those great teams, you have one guy that hits like over 20 home runs. You got to have at least one big power guy.
Mr. Burkett, may I have your attention, please? Mr. Burkett, the headmaster at Pike Liberal Arts School, please let your school out for all day on Wednesday.
I'm sure they will be. No, in a private school, I imagine you can do what you want to do.
Well, I'm sure that they'll have to have a makeup day somehow, but hopefully the entire cast of Pike Liberal Arts supporters will be there on Wednesday.
Well, we were there last year for the finals.
Look forward to it.
It was pretty much the whole first base line was Pike Liberal Arts students.
It's going to be fun.
How does Patterson Field look like? Have they improved it, or remodeled it, or does it look kind of pretty much the
To
same?
me, it looks good.
Looks the same,
I've been going there for. Let's just say this: people they're gonna laugh when I say this. I've been there since Albie Pearson played center field for the Montgomery Rebels.
Al, that's a name that would nobody.
Albie Pearson played
Great.
center field for the Montgomery Rebels.
They were a farm team for
Yeah,
him.
for the Detroit Tigers
That's right.
for a long
I think
time.
of all the Major League Baseball players that came through Montgomery.
Yeah, and that center field there is historic because Wendell Stevens of Troy hit the home run, heard around the
I thought
world.
it was left field, but it was center field.
No, it was center field, right straight up center field. I was there. Michael, you were there too, wasn't you?
I was. Yeah.
Were you sitting in your seat?
Probably not.
You weren't playing cup ball, I hope.
I don't know if I was running around what I was doing, but yeah.
But
Dad should be ashamed of himself. He used to check me out of school to take me to baseball games.
That was late night, wasn't it?
But Mike, you were such a good student. I could do that. You were such a good student.
Yeah, I have a lot of issues now about my bad behavior growing up as a kid. My little girls ask me all the time if I ever went to the principal's office. I don't know what to tell them.
Oh, let me tell you this.
Unfortunately, that was probably about every other week.
That was a shot heard around the world. I saw Wendell at church. He goes to my church, sits a couple pews behind me with his beautiful wife, Donna.
One of the all-time greats, and of course he hit a home run that was right at midnight to beat a team from Michigan. Wasn't for the championship, but it was for to get up to the championship game.
Who was it? Ferris State?
Yeah, Ferris State.
Oh, I thought it was for the championship. See, I've got this story.
No. That right now there was not to win the national championship, but it was to
get there.
To get there, and then the next night.
Might as well have been. If he hadn't done it, they wouldn't have gotten there.
Yeah, that's right. And but it's a lot of fun to look at and be a part of, and you go out and historic Patterson Field is a great place, great venue for baseball. And then down the left field line, Mike, you hit one down the left field line, you're liable to wake up
Hank Singer.
Yeah. Hank Williams. They say, left field line is wake up old Hank, and of course his gravesite is Hank Senior's is right over the left field wall up the hill a little bit.
I saw one Montgomery Rebels game when I was 12. I was on the tournament team that made it to the state championship in Montgomery for Dixie Youth, and they invited all the teams to a Montgomery Rebel game.
Yeah.
Before the tournament started. And that's the only Montgomery Rebels game I saw.
But, a lot of history around that. Then let me tell you this, Troy history. The great one just took over and won the game for Troy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mike Perez?
What?
Mike Perez, yeah, he was there.
No, Mike, for the high school to beat Coleman for the state championship.
Oh, Pete Van Horn?
Petey Van Horn. What a great player he was. He dominated that game. He hit 2 home runs. Isn't that right in one game? Mike, did Pete Van Horn hit 2?
Yeah, I think he had a couple home runs.
And he was also the winning pitcher.
He was, the coach was Coach Garrett. The son
right.
is now in AAA and was a first-round pick.
That's right.
Little Gage, I think.
I like to say Petey, but, Pete Van Horn.
Iron's pitchers were Hunter Mabry and John Michael Stevens. Or those two.
You know who the star player on that team was Matt Johnson, that's in the heating and cooling business.
But Pete Van Horn was he was the hero. Pete Van Horn was in every game.
They had I can't remember who else was on that team. Daniel Porter was on that team. I'm trying to think of some of the players on that team.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
But it was a great win.
That was important because Troy had been so close to winning state championships about 3 or 4 times, and they finally broke through.
And to beat a great team from Coleman. Coleman was good. They were really a great team, and thanks to Pete Van Horn's great night. Troy
Yeah,
won.
they beat the kid, the Rutledge kid. They ended up going to Alabama. And
Yeah, that's right, Big Tom. Yeah.
And then they ended up going playing for Colorado Rockies. And now he's famous because his wife's so pretty and beautiful, Laura Rutledge.
Oh my gosh, that's a great rest of the story. Yeah.
That does all the SEC Network game day.
So Laura Rutledge's husband played against Charles Henderson for a state championship.
And your husband got his heart broke by Petey Van Horn. How about that?
He played for the Red Sox for a couple of years.
Who Pete did?
No, Laura.
The Rutledge guy.
Now Laura Rutledge, she's gonna go. She's already gone far, but she's gonna go farther. She is great.
You know, coming into the game, I can remember that Coleman had such a great history and a great record, and it was no way this team from Charles Henderson High School of Troy would beat them. But hey, we had Pete Van Horn, and they didn't. I mean, it was he dominated the tournament.
I think Matt Johnson got a win too, though. He was really good.
Yeah, I wish I had some stats on that, but I know Pete hit 2 long home runs down the left field line. That
I was there at some of those games. I remember driving up.
And what a player and what history Pete made. You know, Troy won the state championship. Did we win it 2 years in a row, or 1 year in a row in baseball?
I think Garrett won it just one time, and then Irons won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, okay.
So Charles Henderson's won 3 state championships in baseball?
That's right.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I wouldn't mind getting Irons on the telephone, and he really had some great seasons here at Charles Henderson High School.
There were 3 years I can think of when Coach Hogan was coaching that they finished runner-up.
I want to mention Sandbuck Insurance this morning. Denny Sanford with offices also in Andalusia and also in Enterprise, and we appreciate them very much. And also Sisters. Do you pronounce it Sisters or Sisters?
Sisters.
Why now?
Sisters.
Oh, he said sisters. I say, Mama, do you want to go to Sisters to eat for lunch?
And I told President Biden you need to go to Sisters, and he didn't listen to me though.
President, everybody's telling.
Very interesting article here. There's an article on AL.com about the most popular boy names in 1970 to 1980 in Alabama. The top 10 names, according to the Social Security Administration, names are ranked by numbers of babies in Alabama. I've never seen an article like this before. It's kind of funny.
Scott.
Yeah, I have to.
Alabama's 10 most popular boy names of the 70s.
One of them would be Scott. The other one would be Brad.
Number one is Brian.
All right, Brian.
Is a name of Irish origin meaning noble.
Okay. Okay.
There was over 4,000 Brians from 70 to 79 in Alabama.
Oh, God. Over 4,000.
Number 9. Does anybody want to guess number 9?
Scott.
Michael.
Charles is number 9.
Charles.
Good name.
Of German origin meaning free man. There was over 4,000 Charleses.
Do we think that Prince Charles is ever going to become King Charles? Gosh, he's waited for 60 years.
Keep that, Mike. Go ahead.
Number 8 is Robert, a name of German origin meaning fame or bright. Robert, there was over 7,000 Roberts in the 70s in Alabama.
I got a brother named Robert.
Okay.
Number 7 is David. David is the name of Hebrew origin meaning beloved. There was over 7,000 Davids born in Alabama in the 70s. Number 6 is William. William. Origin name for the protector. Over 7,500 Williams. Pretty common name here. I can't believe I come up with this. John.
Oh, John, yeah, that would be easy, yeah.
There's another Hebrew name. Numbers of John is close to, what is this? Numbers like, what does it say? Almost like 400,000? That's way too many. Yeah, maybe so. That's what they're saying.
What? 400,000 what?
Well, that's the number of babies.
Okay.
Of babies. Okay, they're doing that. Okay, so that's number 5 on the list. Number 4 is Jason.
Jason, okay.
8,000 Jasons were born between the 70s in Alabama.
Scott's going to be one of these 4.
Number 3 is Christopher.
Christopher.
I got a nephew.
My brother named his son Chris. Yeah.
Number 2 is James.
That's my middle name.
And then number 1 is my name. Michael is a Hebrew origin meaning who is like God. There was 12,000 Michaels named in the 70s.
They had a song named after you.
You had the most popular name.
They had a song named after you. Michael, roll the boat ashore, hallelujah.
So Dad gave me the most common name he could have gave me when I was born.
You know, I have seen some of these stories before. They're interesting. And at one decade, William was the number 1 name, so it changes.
Yeah.
So
you know, Mike, people get me mixed up a lot with this guy that calls baseball games and football games here in Troy.
Doug Amos?
Yeah, Doug Amos. You know, who is Doug Amos? Hey, how about Mike Amos? Who knows Mike Amos?
Doug's a common name.
I started using Mike later in life because I'm too lazy to Mike.
No, my good friend Doug Amos is one outstanding individual. He's a good friend of mine.
So let's go back through them. So they are Michael, and then John, and James, and William, and who else? Charles, all the ones you would think.
I can't believe nobody was named Nick.
Robert.
Nick. What happened to you, Nick? And, of course...
Brian, Charles, Robert.
Yeah.
Robert would be Bob, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's the nickname for Robert.
Same, yeah.
Let me tell you, in my family...
John, Jason, that's Christopher, and James, and Michael.
In my family, we got me, I'm a William. My dad was a William. I'm William Rice Jr.'s dad. My Uncle Bill was a William, so there's at least 3 Williams. And then Roberts, you had my grandfather Bob Rice was a Robert. My uncle Bobby was a Robert. My brother Bobby was a Robert.
Kept that tradition, kept that name.
Of course, Roberts and Williams.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot going on this week. Of course, graduation at Troy University on Friday, so that's going to be a big day especially for people that like to go out and eat at our best restaurants. And boy, I tell you,
they'll be covered up, won't they?
They'll be covered up on Friday, so y'all make sure to either set your reservations set.
I wonder who's going to give the graduation speech.
I don't know. I didn't know. I usually try to find out though. And
I wish they'd let me give it one year. I'd give them something they'd remember.
Would you really? I bet you would. Wouldn't you? You're right. like you give this viewing audience here something to remember. Of course.
So you're going to get these speeches, and they're all forgettable, right? Can you remember one speech you've heard in your life that stood out? So I would try to get.
It's
I can't.
Pretty tough.
I hate to say that because people work hard on those speeches, and they're good at the time, but then you know 3 weeks later.
Well, I tell you what, our chancellor is an excellent speaker. I mean, he's one of the top speakers that I know of, and
he is good.
Does a great job.
And I can remember something he says in a lot of his speeches. He gives little points of wisdom, life advice.
Yeah, he gets a lot of that. Yeah.
And one thing he does is says, make eye contact with somebody when you're talking.
Sure, I've always said that.
I have remembered. I remember that, and I pass it on to other people. If you want to make an impression on somebody that you just met, look them in the eye.
Yeah. Look, watch this. My name is Mike Amos. I live in Troy, Alabama, and love it. And I also went to school in Troy, and also played a little ball in Troy. Thank y'all for coming tonight and for this graduation. My head moved from one end to another end to another end. That's supposed to be the way it's supposed to be done. So you can communicate with the entire audience, and also you look to the very back of the room.
I haven't heard that. That's good.
Yeah.
Here's an experiment you can do that I did as a student. When you're a student sitting in the desk, make eye contact with your teacher who's delivering the lecture. Watch after about 15 minutes of that. You know who that teacher will be teaching to? You. That teacher is going to talk. That teacher is going to talk to the student that is actually paying attention and making eye contact.
That's right. We hope you're having a good morning this morning as we turn the week toward the graduation at Troy University, and of course a lot of proud people are getting ready to graduate. Of course, Charles Henderson and the rest of the schools here in Pike and Crenshaw counties will be
coming up.
Yeah, coming up in I want to say third weekend of the month.
I need to ask my wife what's the last day at Charles Emerson High School.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know why I did that though? To make eye contact with teachers. It wasn't really because I was that much more interested in learning. I felt bad for a lot of teachers. I would look at them, and then I'd look at my fellow classmates, and none of them were really paying attention, and it bothered me. And so I started feeling bad for the teachers, and so.
Do you know good speakers really can sort of make the whole audience feel like that he's talking directly to you.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of preachers are like that. You know,
they would be the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but okay, A1 Services, and you know that guy's name is Terry Moats, and he's been a sponsor of our show for a long time, and for air conditioning or refrigeration or heating or cooling, you call my good buddy Terry Moats, and he'll be there. Especially if he tells you he'll be there, he'll be there.
And he'll tell you when he's going to be there, or if he can't be there, he'll tell you why he can't.
I want to say hello to Bill Jackson this morning. Bill Jackson Ford, Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, Alabama. Appreciate them. And, of course, as always, our good friends at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass. Nobody beats a Ram deal. Nobody beats the Premier deal. Premier trucks. And I tell you what, I love my truck.
Well, you're gonna let me drive it up on Wednesday?
I'll let you drive it up if you'll be nice for the rest of the week. I'll let you drive my truck.
And we'll listen to some music
that I bought from Premier Dodge.
Oh, I got a CD I want you to listen to.
All right, good.
You like country music?
Yeah. And you know, I've got that beach music too.
I know. I like your beach music.
Yeah.
But we've listened to that. I bought one going to Walt Disney World at a Cracker Barrel. It's classic country hits, all the great country hits of all time, like Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn and Hank Williams Sr. and Charlie Pride and on.
Boy, I tell you, I've got some
Merle Haggard.
Oh yeah,
the real country. You know what I'm saying?
Now let me tell you this: a Texas legend, ladies and gentlemen, died this weekend. Did you know who it was?
Tell me who. I missed.
Mickey Gilley.
Oh man,
the great Mickey Gilley died this weekend.
I missed that.
And you know,
looking for love in all the wrong places.
That's right, looking for love in all the wrong places.
One of my favorite movies, I think it's underrated, is Urban Cowboy with John Travolta and Deborah Winger. He was in that. I mean, that was his club, Gilley's. That movie was set in.
Yeah, that's right. And he brought the Texas Western music to the country.
And, I wrote a story in high school about there was a big country fad that happened in the early 80s.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's when Urban Cowboy came out. That kind of contributed.
Sure
if you listen to it, you want to hear a good soundtrack for a movie, the songs that are in that movie are really, really good.
Do you know that a friend of mine called me this weekend, and he said, "Mike, I love it when you sing." And I said, "Sing?" I said, "Yeah, when you sing about the."
Yeah. Whatever.
No. He said he loved it when he says and when I sing, and when we get behind closed doors. I said, well, listen, that's the only verse I sing.
That's Charlie Pride, isn't it?
Yeah.
Charlie Rich.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Charlie Rich?
And old Rocky Top, you'll always be. Home slave home to me.
I want to say now.
Good old Rocky Top,
to this
Rocky Top, Tennessee.
CD that's got
Rocky
this is
Top,
a double CD, so it's got a lot of songs. On the female artists, there's two contenders. Probably the best all time. Don't everybody would probably agree is Patsy Cline.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go along with Patsy. But the best female country song of all time is Coal Miner's Daughter by Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn.
I listen to that all the time. I love that song.
Yeah. Well, sing a few verses. How's it go?
And I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter. And it talks about she was born on the cabin in Butcher Holler. And,
Yeah, that movie
and
was
see,
good.
her mama washes her clothes on the washboard, and she's seen her fingers bleed. And it's so true.
You know the famous one-liner for that movie is, and hold your horses now, is, "She pulled my hair."
You say it all the time. Now, that, as far as movies about real people, biography movies,
Yeah.
that's got to be near the top of the list. Because who was it? Spacek, Sissy Spacek.
Yeah,
there's nobody has done a character better
Tommy
than she.
Lee Jones is her husband.
He's great. Yeah.
I love Tommy Lee Jones too.
Bad news for Paul Bear Bryant Tyson at Arizona State. Looks like he's going to have some competition. Emory Jones, the starter of 12 games for the Florida Gators, is now transferred to Arizona State. So it'll be Emory Jones, the former Florida starter at Arizona State. I guess him and Paul Tyson will battle for the starting job.
Let me ask this: Could Tyson move again? Would he be able to go?
Too late to move now. The deadline's been passed.
You know, that Emory Jones, he was made out to be a Superman at one point. You know, he was second string, and then he had a couple of phenomenal games, and then he got hurt.
He played pretty well against Alabama last year.
No, he was the starter.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the guy that was second string.
He was the starter. He's more of a runner than a thrower. He threw 19 touchdown passes and had 13 interceptions. I mean, he was the starter against Central Florida in the bowl game.
And you know, Brian.
Never seen anything like that before in my life. The guy was a starter in a bowl game while he was in the transfer portal.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, the guy who is going to
you technically go back to that school.
The guy that's going to start at Florida was the backup last year that I was talking about that had those big games.
Anthony Robinson, I think his name.
All right.
I want to mention coming up on our show is the Wiley Sanders trucking show, as it is every Monday on the show. My good friend Jeffrey Bennett and all his friends will be here on our next segment, and of course we appreciate him so very much for being a part of our show. As I tell you what, they're looking for a career in the trucking industry. No better place than Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama.
Getting back to my country music greats on that CD, has a beautiful voice that is appreciated, but is probably underappreciated as far as a singing voice is Glenn Campbell.
Oh yeah, I love Glenn Campbell. I love him.
He's got a couple songs on there.
Yeah, one of them was
Rhinestone Cowboy.
Yeah, Rhinestone Cowboy.
And I'm a lineman
for the county.
Galveston, old Galveston.
Listen to that great sound, Mike. Do you know any more words to it?
The Wichita lineman's pretty good too.
How does it go, Mike?
I am the
lineman's still on the line.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what.
In the country, I have rediscovered and appreciated the band, the Eagles, in my older age.
Yeah, I like them.
I always liked them, but I've recently said, man, they were really, really good. But the early Eagles stuff is country. I mean, it's semi-country music.
Yeah. Well, they're one of the more well-rounded bands out there. I thought they were great. And
all right, we got to go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, it's always a pleasure to be coming into your house every weekday morning. And, of course, Bill Rice says the same thing. And also Wise Office Supply says the same thing. Thank you for watching our show. And we'll see you again tomorrow right here on this set on today in L.A. See you then.
All right.
Our gigantic Mayday sale is here.
Yeah.
Got $29? Get a new car. Got $29. Get a new truck. Just $29. Get you a new truck or car. Or shop at PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier.